Allie.
Mark, so nice to see you.
My pleasure. How you doing?
Doing well, thanks.
All
Thanks
right.
for coming out.
So I love the house. I think that's a perfect spot for your flowers.
Thank you so much.
But you wrote me about the window wells.
We did, yes.
Yep.
As you can see, they're in pretty rough shape.
Yes.
Unsure what to do.
Yep.
Hoping for some advice.
Okay, excellent. The few things that I do see, obviously rust. They're off balance, so this edge is a little closer to the window than this edge.
Okay.
Encased in asphalt, which isn't going to be a problem, but it's just going to be a little more work.
Okay.
There was also a second window well.
There is, yes, just
Okay.
on the other side of the house.
All right, let's check that out too.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay.
So I see similar problems from the one over there, but this one will be easier to deal with only because it's in mulch and not asphalt.
Okay. Question for you though. What are window wells actually for? What's their purpose?
So one of the things they do is they're going to help mitigate the water. They're going to keep pests out, but they also let in light. It protects the window. I think that's most important to me.
Okay.
Let's get some tools and get on it.
Let's do it.
All right. All right, Allie, so before we get going with the demo, a couple things we should talk about.
Yes.
So as you know, we're gonna have to take out this asphalt just to get to the window well. We could patch it back in with asphalt. We could do a temporary walkway of some type. I don't know what your thoughts are.
You know, honestly, I think we could do temporary. We're going to redo this walkway and our driveway over time, so I think temporary is the perfect fix.
Okay, great.
How are we going to take out the asphalt?
Okay.
What tools do we use?
Great question. So what we have, this is a typical saw that you'll see on any construction site.
Okay.
The big differential is going to be this blade. So this blade is specifically made to cut asphalt.
Love that.
All right.
What about our vacuum?
So the vacuum is actually kind of a special unit as well. It's what they call a HEPA vac, and what that does is separate the dust that we're going to kick up from some of the contaminants that may or may not be in this asphalt. So that's why we're going to use that.
Sounds great.
All right. So the last thing I did want to talk to you about is symmetry. We have a fixed piece right here. This is the step.
Okay.
So I measured 28 inches from that step all the way to this first jam.
Yep.
So I'm just going to do 28 inches from that jam over there, and that's going to be our cut line.
Sounds great.
All right, well, let's get going. All I'm going to ask you to do is take the end of that hose and just follow my saw, suck up the dust, and we'll do our job. No power tools here. I'm gonna use the rake first. I'm gonna pull this mulch away.
Okay.
You can follow me up with the shovel, and any dirt goes right onto the top.
And how far down are we digging at this point?
We're gonna end up going probably a total of 10 inches down because we're gonna replace that soil with gravel. Okay.
One last one for good measure.
Yes, and if you wanna stay right there and switch shovels
Yep.
with the tamper.
Tamper.
Now
All
we're
right.
gonna use that just to compact everything,
All right.
and that way we won't get any settlement.
Is this okay pressure?
That is perfect. And then we're ready for the crush down. Drainage is very important, so that's what we're gonna use the gravel for. Nope.
Even layers.
So this is looking good right now. Why don't we go to the other side? We'll prep it the same way.
Let's do it.
All right, Allie. So ready for crushed stone?
Okay.
Throw another one in there, Allie.
All right. That's best to open it.
Just, you know what I do is I just go like that.
Okay.
And then she's ready.
I'm gonna give it a
Ready
shot
to
on the next
spill.
one. Okay.
I like that little twist you just did there.
Thank you. Thank you. See that? Trying new things. All right.
All right, Allie, now we're ready for install. And to do that, we're gonna use this, which is a hammer drill.
Okay.
Okay,
seen
so
one of
it's a
those.
little bit bigger than a regular drill, but on the end of this hammer drill, we have what we call a masonry bit. That's what we're gonna need to get into the concrete foundation.
Okay.
All right, And once we drill those holes, this is what we're going to use to fix this to the foundation.
Okay.
And this is what I call an expanding wedge bolt. What I mean by that is you can see this nut right here?
Yep.
Once I tighten that nut up, and I use this ratchet
Okay.
to do so, this sleeve is going to expand. So it's going to grab that hole and we're not going to be able to get it out.
Okay.
So we're going to do that 6 times because we have 6
sense.
holes.
Awesome.
Yep.
A question about the well itself. What kind of material? Is this a standard height? How do we think about something like this?
Okay. So I don't think there's any other standard material to use other than galvanized steel.
Okay.
Why? Because it puts up with the weather. We get a lot of snow, we get a lot of rain.
Yeah.
This galvanized material is not going to rust. So to me, that's what you have to use.
Awesome.
As far as the height of these window wells go, it's almost what do you need? In our case, we needed something that was 18 inches deep because that is where we're going to be left with some exposure on our light for the window.
Okay.
So that's why we're using 18. But if you had a deeper well, you would use a 24-inch, or the other standard is going to be something a lot shorter, which is a 12-inch.
Oh, awesome.
All
Thanks
right?
for that.
Okay. So the first thing I want to do is establish a center line in the window. The next thing I want to do is go from flange to flange, and that's 41.5. So I want to go 20 3/4 from my center line,
Okay.
and again, using a pencil.
Yep.
And I'm going to do the same thing, 20 3/4. From the sill, I want to come down about a foot,
Okay.
which will give me that mark right there. And why am I doing this, Allie? This is what's going to give me my reveal for the light. And,
We look good.
yeah, so we have a hole right there to drill.
Okay.
Okay.
Just mark each of them.
I'm just going to mark each of them.
All right.
That guy's there. So
Okay.
let's take that out. I want to make sure I go straight into that hole or the bolt is going to be off.
Okay.
Okay?
Just clean it.
So very important. Yeah. The purpose of that washer is to make sure that nut doesn't go through the hole.
Okay. Great. Wow. That was really easy. Thank you. So build up, but still tamp down.
You still have
okay.
to pack it right.
Yep.
The only thing we have to do now is this walkway.
Okay.
I brought some crushed bluestone, which is very decorative. All right, Allie, what do you think?
I think they look awesome, Mark.
All right, well, great. They do make a standard cover for that well, so if you have any interest, all you have to do is go down to the store and they'll have them.
Awesome.
All right?
Thank you so much, Mark. This has been
You
so
got
much
it.
fun.
Thanks for watching. This Old House has got a video for just about every home improvement project, so be sure to check out the others. And if you like what you see, click on the subscribe button to make sure that you get our newest videos right in your feed.